What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. Today's episode, I honestly don't know what we're going to be calling it. Maybe how to get the most out of life, maybe how to have a successful life, maybe how to start living your best life. I don't know. I know that I will say this from starting off that you got me in some type of mood today. This is going to be a whole different type of podcast. Um, let's just say like you got me in a good day, right? So with that being said, fair warning, if you're somebody that is easily triggered, if you're somebody that's fat, lazy, broke, and you're not willing to make a change, don't even listen to this episode. Don't even watch this video if you're watching on YouTube, because I'm going to piss you the hell off. Now, hopefully, right? Because I'm not doing this. If you're in that category, right? Fat, lazy, broke, you don't care about making a change with your life, odds are you're probably not watching this or listening to this episode. But also the reality is this: I'm not who I'm trying to serve today. You're not who I'm trying to serve. I don't care about you nor your life, because you don't care about you or your life. Who I care about is the people that are fat, lazy, broke, and they want to make a change. Who I care about is my clients who need help. And sometimes when you need help, and I don't mean like, hey, dude, eat some more protein, go for some more walks. Like at the end of the day, like you can find that information for free. People pay me, right, to help them out of the darkness. People pay me, right, and my team and our services, so that way they're not living a life full of pain anymore. And sometimes that means you need a coach that's going to tell you what you need to hear. Not what you want to hear, like a cheerleader, like a sheep, right? But you need a coach that's going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And this podcast episode is going to tell you what you need to hear. So I talk about, right, like how do we live a successful life? Might sound pretty like as a good title for the podcast, or like how to live get the most out of life might sound great. Like, hey, we're going to be talking about tips here, like Dave Ramsey on how to, invest into the stock market and mutual funds, and, have a savings account and get out of debt. Well, guess what? I'm not Dave Ramsey. Go listen to his podcast. Go buy his Money Makeover, the Total Money Makeover book that's on Amazon for $10. Because at the end of the day, that's what I did. And I learned about finances. But the people that complain saying like, oh, I got no money, I'm too broke. Well, the reality is you're not broke. The only thing that's broke, it has nothing to do with your financial abilities in life. It has everything to do with your limitations of your own mindset. So wake up, because let's actually put on the roller coaster ride belt buckle right here. This episode, it's going to shake you up. You're either going to love me after this or you're going to hate me after this. Regardless, I don't care. It's not changed the way that I sleep. People hate me all the time on Facebook ads. They say the meanest things. Hey, guess what? Their opinions are not paying my mortgage. Their opinions are not saving up for my son's, let's say college fund. No one cares, right, about the naysayers or the haters. It just means that you're in alignment with doing everything that you're supposed to be doing in life. But some of you guys are weak-minded. Some of you guys are emotionally weak, are emotionally just so dependent upon others, where you thrive off the opinion of them. You got to be a yes man. You got to be a people pleaser, right? Oh, Joe, you don't understand, Joe. I can't afford $500 to invest and get started with Heartletics. I work a job, and I'm trying to put my kids through school. Well, guess what? That's great. But at the end of the day, go sell some of that crap that's sitting in your basement on Facebook Marketplace, because you living this life, right, that you've been living for the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years of constantly pushing things off the side, constantly telling yourself that you don't have the funds to invest into yourself because you don't prioritize yourself. That's why your life is never going to change. You want your life to change? Listen to everything that I have to say in this podcast episode. This is life in a nutshell. And I promise you this: if you listen in closely to everything that I have to say, you are not going to be fat, lazy, or broke anymore, because you're going to learn how to wake up, start feeding the good wolf, instead of that inner bitch, and you're going to learn how to finally start thriving in life instead of surviving just like how you have been. And that's why you're probably living paycheck to paycheck. You're fat, you're broke, you're out of shape, you're probably dependent on all these different medications, and you're saying to yourself, oh, one day it's going to get better. I know exactly what to do. I'll cut out carbs. I'll just start working out. I'll join a gym membership. Well, guess what? You've been saying the same old damn thing for the past 5, 10, 15 years. What's going to make the next 5, 10, 15 years any different? You're just going to continue to lie to yourself because you're a master at creating excuses. So let's get into it. How do we have the best life ever? How do we get the most out of life? How do we have a successful life? It's to understand what life is. So what is life? I'll tell you what life is not. Life ain't sunshine and rainbows, right? Life is a war zone. Life is a battlefield. You don't believe me? How many times have you been through a heartbreak? How many times have you had friends that you had growing up and all of a sudden they're not your friends anymore, right? We outgrow them. How many times did you get a job and you're like, oh, this is the dream job. I got this one, right? And then all of a sudden, like, something happens. Life is tough. But the reality is you get to decide how tough you want to be when it comes to facing life and all the adversities that's the inevitable that's going to come. Because if you go through life, right, not challenging yourself, not stepping outside your comfort zone each and every day, well, guess what? When life decides to put you outside your own comfort zone, unwilling, known to you, guess what? How tough are you really? Because you never went through the mental reps. You never went through the emotional reps of getting mentally and emotionally stronger in life. So when life throws you outside your comfort zone, guess what? You can handle that, right? With some confidence. Instead of constantly feeling like, oh man, life sucks. Yeah, it does suck because you have a sucky mindset. You don't focus on self-improvement. You don't focus on becoming the best version of yourself. So for starters, you want to have a better life. Understand that life is hard. It's a war zone. It's a battlefield. But how do you make it easier? Because at the end of the day, someone's going to win that battle. Is it you or is it life? Who's going to win in the end? I'll tell you how I win. Because life is hard. But guess what? I love it when it's hard. In fact, when it's hard, I try to make things even harder for myself. Because it's pushing me. It's making me become stronger. It's making me become better. And it all starts with me focusing on 3 things that I need to do every single day. 1, take commitment, take ownership. This is my life. I have a wife that I love. I have a son that I love. I have a dog that pisses me off half the time, but I love. I have coworkers that I love. I have a house here and an office that I love. At the end of the day, this could be all gone in a blink of an eye. So I make sure that I'm doing what I have to do to not just survive, but thrive. And that's taking commitment. That's taking responsibilities for my own actions. Guess what? If I'm fat, lazy, and broke, is that my wife's fault? Is that my kid's fault? Some of you guys say, oh, when I got married, I got this dad bod. When I had kids, all of a sudden the weight started piling on. Yeah, you know what happened? The reality is you started sitting on the couch a little bit more. You started just, stop being so, active. You stopped trying. Because, and I get it, you got kids. They can't care for themselves. But at the end of the day, brother, who's caring for you? If you ain't, right? If you ain't, who's caring for you? You got to take ownership. So many guys out there, I love it because I'm 30 years old. I'll talk to a 50-year-old. I'll talk to a 60-year-old. I'll tell them in the face on a qualification call, brother, you are not a good fit for our coaching program because you don't care about your own health. You're probably realistically going to stay fat, broke, and lazy the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Like, at the end of the day, let me send you over some podcasts because hopefully something can wake you up mentally. And that's it. Peace out, Girl Scout. Bye. Stop wasting my time because my time is valuable. Guess what? People need to hear that. I need to hear that. When I'm messing up, when I'm not doing what I need to do, Guess what? I need to take ownership. No one's going to tell me like, hey, Joe, stop putting down the cookies late at night. No one's going to tell me like, hey, Joe, at the end of the day, you should probably doing X, Y, and Z with your business if you're trying to get it there. Well, guess what? This is my life. So if I want to take a better advantage of making the most out of a life, I'm taking ownership. I'm taking full responsibilities of all my actions. So once again, if you're fat, lazy, and broke, unwilling to make a change, well, kudos to you. Because the next 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years of your life, guess what? It's only going to be harder for you. And most importantly, it's going to be harder for probably your kids as well. Because when you're fat, lazy, and broke, and next thing you know, like your kids have to take care of you, your kids have to wipe your butt, get you in and out of bed because you don't care about your own damn health, guess what? The reality is that's going to suck a lot for them also. Monkey see, monkey do, right? Interesting how that works. But the reality is when you decide to take action, when you decide to prioritize your life, next thing you know, monkey see, monkey do, other people start getting those benefits as well. Think about that, people. The second thing is I die literally every day. No, not mentally and physically, whatever, like putting a gun in my head. No, what I mean by is if I'm the same person of who I was yesterday, then that's it. That's the greatest sense of failure in my mind. In my mind. The greatest sense of failure is waking up the next day and I didn't improve on myself. We have these Heartletics journals, and on the cover it says 1% better each and every day. Because it's that reminder that you got to kill yourself of who you were yesterday. If you're trying to grow and to become the best version of yourself, you got to kill yourself of those old habits. You got to focus on improvement. You got to also make sure that you're prioritizing yourself. You're being selfish. And you're doing what you need to do. Not your kids, not your wife, not your coworkers. You're doing what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, you were born into this world without your kids, without your wife. When you die, they're not going to be in the coffin with you. That's the reality also. Start focusing on being selfish. Because at the end of the day, hey, do you want to make more money? Do you want to have a better life for your kids? I'll tell you what, I'm so selfish. I want to be so rich. Why? Because at the end of the day, I want to raise millions of dollars for mental health organizations. I want to be so rich where I can hire all my friends and all my family to come work for me. I want to be so rich that at the end of the day, guess what? I can afford so many different, private jets, all these nice cars. Guess what? So I can inspire somebody else and show them that anything's possible. Anything's possible. And guess what? With all those nice, fancy, materialistic things that absolutely don't mean crap to me at all, guess what? I could probably, having a private jet, buy back more time. Instead of sitting around in, TSA and the airport security and whatnot and waiting for my plane and crying baby next to me, guess what? I can go speak somewhere, right? In half the time of traveling and go somewhere, motivate millions of people, inspire millions of people, and come right back home. That's the way that I view money. That's the way that I view success is how rich can I become so I can literally give back to others. I'm being resourceful with my income. And that's why I'm blessed with income. That's why I also am smart with income to where I make my money, make more of it. I'm not dumb here. I already told you guys, literally go buy a $10 Dave Ramsey total money makeover and you can learn this stuff out for yourself. It's not that hard. But at the end of the day, what's better than the S&P 500 is literally like my economy, not economy, my economy. And that's investing into you first and foremost. So be selfish. Invest into yourself. Prioritize yourself so you can learn how to become 1% better each and every day. You can learn how to kill yourself of those bad habits that's constantly making you fat, lazy, and broke and unwilling to make a change because you probably have low levels of testosterone, no willpower, and you blame it on things like time. And you blame it on things like portion control. And you blame it on things like, I'm broke. No, the reality is your mindset sucks. That's the truth. Which brings us to the third thing that you got to focus on. your mindset. And this is going to get into so much of a Coach Joe rant here. If you're staying tuned for this point, warning, this is going to piss you off. Here's my mindset. I don't want you to become like me, right? I don't, because you're not me. You'll never be like me. There's only one of me, and I understand that. So I use my experiences of life. I use just me coming on here, voicing my opinion. That's all. As just a little forms of inspiration for you to decide to feed the good wolf. Here's my mindset. I'm going to die eventually. I'm not going to have funds with me in form of currency or money or capital, right? Capital. I'm going to have memories and experiences. I also understand this, right? I'm a firm believer in God. I'm created in the image of God. I believe that we're all created in the image of God. Regardless of what your viewpoints is about religion, I could care less, honestly. I don't care. I don't even put a label on things. I don't care. All I understand is this is my belief system. That when I die, eventually I'm going to have a conversation with God. I don't mean is that a face-to-face conversation. I don't mean is that just like feelings. I don't know, right? But I do know that if I'm created in the image of God and God is all powerful, why do you think I try my hardest each and every day to make such an impact in this world? Because the reality is this. We're not promised tomorrow. I could simply die, right, tomorrow. I can die tonight even. Like, we're not promised. And so one of the simple questions, and I'm going to ask you guys this as we wrap things up at the end. One of the simple questions that I always like to ask myself is this. If I were to die tomorrow, can I at least say I tried my best today? Let me repeat that. If I were going to die tomorrow, can I at least say that I tried my best today? A lot of you guys out there, you suck at trying your best. Because what happens is you got married, you got some kids, you got a nice cushy, 9-to-5 job, and you stop playing the game of life. Life is only hard in the beginning when you literally need people to take care of you, and at the end of life when you need people to take care of you. This in-between process of let's say 18 to, 75, 80 years old, guess what? This is where all the fun is. But most people, they get into their late 20s, early 30s, get married, have kids, they stop having fun. They stop playing the game of life. They stop going after their goals and passion in life. They get fat, lazy, and broke and decide to not make any change. Well, guess what? If I'm fat, lazy, and broke, and I'm created in the image of God, and if I was going to die tomorrow and God's going to have a conversation with me, he's going to say, what happened to you? I created you, Joe Callari, in the image of me. I created you to have a voice to inspire millions of people. I created you to make such a positive impact in this negative world. And you decide to just sit on the couch all day and drink beer and eat Cheetos? And Joe, I hate to say it, but dude, your life was definitely a lot shorter based on your own stupid decisions. And the reality, Joe Callari, is that your son, your wife, follow through in the same decisions because you're supposed to be leading better by example, not leading worse. Because at the end of the day, Joe, you're always leading. And side note, let's pause. Let's hype this up, what I'm about to say, because I really hope you're listening right now. Listeners, you're always leading. Where are you leading your kids to? Success, confidence, love. I say affirmations with my son every day. We scream them on the top of our lungs. Out in the mall, out in public. Why does it matter? I'm so confident. I want my son to be confident too. Because guess what? I want him to live each and every day as going after his goals. I want him to know that we're not promised tomorrow. I want you guys to know we're not promised tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, if I'm going to have a conversation with God and he's going to be disappointed in me and say, Joe Callari, you had one life to live. One life, and let's say he brought me to a room and there was this big movie theater inside of this room and he just played me the life that he wished he had for me. The goals, the dreams. Like, I'm getting emotional right now because you guys don't understand. Like, this isn't just my livelihood of running Heartletics. This is my soul. This is my passion. And that scares the crap out of me, knowing that I could die tomorrow and God could have a completely different plan for me. And I decided to feed my ego. I decided to just be lazy, fat, broke, and not go after my passions in life. And then God's going to sit down with me and have this big movie theater of where my life could have been and how many people I could have affected and inspired and helped. Think about it, right? If God's just going to say, okay, hey, nice, you made it to the pearly gates, dude. Hey, here's this money that literally means nothing here in heaven. But hey, you worked so hard and you brought it to the grave with you. Here's your money. Like, think about it. I'm going around talking to all these other people like, hey, I got money. Hey, I got money. I got money. And everybody's like, dude, who cares about that? Like, these people have experiences. These people have memories. These people have stories to tell with them going after their goals. That's my greatest fear, to not live up to the expectations that God has for me. Some of you guys stopped living. You're walking around like a zombie, the same 9 to 5, no morning routine, nothing. You're not a man. Just because, there's a male and just because there's a female does not make you a man. Honestly, what makes you a man? It's the mindset shift. Stop living this mediocre life. Stop looking for the easy routine in life. Like, if you're fat, lazy, and broke, guess what? You want to know the reality? Go dig a little bit deeper. Hey, you're already broke. Well, guess what? Go take out some credit cards and take a course, right? Take out some more debt and take a course on finances. Take a course on growing a business. Take a course, right, or a coaching program that's going to improve on your health mentally and physically. So guess what? Maybe you'll still be broke if you invest in yourself physically. But guess what? You're not going to be fat anymore. You're not going to be lazy anymore. So at least you can cross those two off. You can have anything that you want in this life. But people stop playing the game. I'm 30 years old. Labor Day, I woke up. Labor Day, I became the 3.0 version of myself. I'm just getting started, baby. That's all I got to say. And you guys that's tuning in, listeners who I adore, who I love, who I'm so grateful for, you guys are about to live your best life as well. Because once again, this podcast is nothing more but just inspiration, raw truth, what I've been through to help me become the person that I'm becoming today. Which is, guess what? Better 1% than who I was yesterday. And today, right? I'm going to die today so tomorrow I can be 1% better than who I am today. Because I'm on the path of becoming the best version of myself each and every day. And any Heartletics member out there that's listening to this podcast, you guys already know. Go to the community group, capital letters. I am in the process of becoming the best version of myself. That is the Heartletics affirmation for everybody. And I encourage everybody, whether you're a member or not, start saying that to yourself. Because you really want to win at this game called life. You really want to be successful. You got to learn how to go through pain. You got to learn how to go through suffering. If you're already fat, lazy, and broke, guess what? Dig a little bit deeper, right? I already told you, take out some more debt, take out some credit cards because you can figure out how to fix, being broke and figure out how to fix, being fat and being lazy. But you're so stuck in your comfort zone and it's not going to make your life any better. You got to push yourself. You have to challenge yourself each and every day. Guess what? I live with the same motto. live my life today as if I'm not going to live again tomorrow. What does that mean? Who can I inspire today? Somebody's going to listen to this podcast. Somebody's going to share this. Is there a client I can talk to? I already talked to my team this morning. I already helped out somebody. Who can I inspire today? How many people? Because I'm not promised tomorrow. As we finish up, right? Because I did want to say this, and I want to bring it back. I said, there's males, there's females. But just because you're a male doesn't make you a man. Guess what? The reality is this. I always look back to like World War II, right? Where, hey, there's the draft. You're being sent to war. You're over the age of 18. You can hold a gun. Guess what? You're a man. You're going out to war. They're scared going out there, okay? They're forced to do that. I'm blessed because somebody had to do that I didn't have to. My dad didn't have to. My grandfather didn't have to. Other people had to do that. They were forced to. But it led to me, right, in this greatest country, having freedom of speech, having an abundance of anything that we want. But guess what? We don't have men in today's society. We have to create because we can get anything that we want in this world. That's very simple. We have to create our own pain. And how do you do that? Discipline and courage. Discipline is doing the things that you want to do, whether you feel like it or not. Guess what? You had to go through, school. You probably had to take some tests, do some homework. You didn't feel like doing it, but at the end of the day, you graduated, right? So you're happy you did it. You showed up, whether you felt like it or not. Courage is another thing. Think about courage, right? It's doing what you're afraid to do. Maybe you're married right now. Well, did you just randomly meet a chick and say, hey, drop down on one knee, will you marry me? Like, no. You had to have the balls to go out and ask her on a date. That's the reality. Men in today's society, they need the balls. How do you get bigger balls? How do you take full advantage of life? How do you stop being fat, broke, lazy? You make things harder for yourself. You get more in touch with your soul, your passion, your heart. You make things harder for yourself by saying, okay, what can I do in my comfort zone to step outside my comfort zone, make things a little bit different, shake up my own plates, so that way, guess what? When life throws me curveballs like divorce, like losing a job, like injuries, like sickness, I'm more mentally and emotionally prepared to handle those curveballs. And that's how you level up mentally and emotionally. That's how you start living your best life. That's how you become successful in life. Is because you start playing this game. Because maybe, I don't know, you got married, you got some kids, you stop playing the game. This life is great. This game is fun. I got all the cheat codes. Heartletics, we teach everybody this. How do you level up mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically? Hey, you want to learn the cheat codes? Go to heartletics.com. Talk to one of my coaches or myself. We'll give you all the cheat codes. But if you're fat, lazy, and broke, and you're not willing to make a change, we can't help you out. We can only help out the people that are open-minded and willing to make a change. And I want to leave you here before we wrap things up. One more time with probably the best question that you can ask yourself to wake up mentally. If I were to die tomorrow, can I at least say I tried today? So when you're sitting on the couch eating those nachos and Cheetos and drinking the beer, complaining because you're fat, lazy, and broke, and the next day all of a sudden you die and you have that conversation with God, can you say you at least tried? Because I bet you anything, like whether you believe in God or not, doesn't matter. I just hope that you understand that there's probably so much greatness and this unlocked fullest potential within your own life, but because of your comfort zone that you're in right now, you'll never be able to achieve it. And to me, that's the greatest sign of failure. So guys, as always, you got any value? Go share this podcast. Peace out, Girl Scouts.